Someone has to say it. Roxanne Wolf is S tier. Toy Chica is S tier. And Balloon Boy is the single ugliest thing Scott Cawthon ever put on screen. And I will be explaining why in front of his entire family. Not all Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics were created equal. Some of them are genuinely terrifying to look at in the worst possible way. Some of them are actually kind of clean. And some of them, and I cannot believe I'm saying this about murder robots from a children's pizza place, are undeniable baddies. Today I am ranking every single Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic from the ugliest thing in the franchise to a full S-tier baddie. Every game, every character. Nobody gets skipped, nobody gets protected. These are the tiers: S, undeniable baddie; A, pretty clean; actually B, mid but respectfully; C, not it; D, certified ugly. Starting on Five Nights at Freddy's 1, Freddy is the face of the franchise, the mascot, the man, the legend, the bear. And he is mid. I'm sorry, but he is. He's a brown bear in a top hat with a microphone. He looks like the lead singer of a county fair cover band. Respectable, iconic, completely average looking. B tier. He gets points for the hat and loses them for the chin. Bonnie has no face in a lot of appearances, and that is genuinely not it. The original Bonnie design is a purple rabbit with a red bow tie and empty black eyes that look like two holes someone cut out of a mask. There is nothing appealing happening here. He looks like a fever dream someone had after eating gas station sushi. C tier. Not it. Chica is a yellow chicken wearing a bib that says "Let's eat" and carrying a pizza. She looks like a Denny's mascot that gained sentience and immediately became dangerous. The beak is fine, the googly eyes are concerning. The fact that she has a cupcake companion that nobody named is deeply weird. C tier. She's not ugly exactly, she's just a lot. Foxy gets a pass because the eye patch gives him something. He's a pirate fox with a hook hand who hides behind a curtain and runs at you screaming. On paper, that is actually a strong concept. He's got personality. He's got a look. He's also falling apart and leaking from multiple locations, but the eye patch carries that entire design. Solid B tier. Golden Freddy is the same design as regular Freddy, but gold and slumped over like he fell asleep at a party. The gold actually looks better than the brown, if I'm being honest. He's got more gravitas, more mystery. He crashes the game when you look at him, which is extremely unhinged behavior, and I respect it. B tier with style points. Now on Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Toy Freddy looks like if someone described Freddy Fazbear to an AI and asked it to make him cuter. He's rounder, shinier, has those painted-on freckles and the dopey eyes. He looks like a Build-A-Bear with anger issues. It's not a bad design, but it's not doing anything interesting either. B tier. He's fine. He knows he's fine. Toy Bonnie. Okay, Toy Bonnie is actually clean. He's got the teal color, the angular face, the guitar, and the confident stance of someone who knows they look better than their predecessor. He looks like he should be in a Saturday morning cartoon that's actually kinda good. A tier. Pretty clean actually, he earned it. Toy Chica removing her beak mid-game was not something I was prepared for, and yet somehow it made her more iconic. She's the polished, upgraded version of Chica, and she knows it. She's got the eyelashes, the cleaner design, the confident energy of an animatronic who could ruin your life, and has fully accepted that. S tier, undeniable baddie. The beak removal is her villain origin story, and it only helped her ranking. Mangle is complicated because she is both a complete disaster and somehow visually interesting because of it. She's two heads, tangled wires, multiple limbs going different directions, and a loose endoskeleton hanging off her body like an accessory. She looks like someone tried to reassemble Toy Foxy after an explosion and gave up halfway through. That should be D tier, and yet there is something compelling about the chaos. B tier. She did the work. There is nothing going on with Balloon Boy. He has a striped shirt. He has a propeller hat. He has the single most unsettling smile in a franchise full of unsettling smiles, and he uses it to say hi and hello and hey until you want to turn off the game. He doesn't even jump scare you. He just disables your flashlight and lets the other animatronics get you. That is not a design. That is a psychological operation. Certified D, tier, ugly. No notes, we move on. The puppet is genuinely unnerving, but in a way that is actually interesting. The tall, thin body, the white face, the black tears, the striped arms. It looks like something from a completely different kind of horror that wandered into the wrong game and decided to stay. Unsettling in an elegant way. A tier. Pretty clean actually, and I mean that in the most disturbing way possible. Withered Freddy looks like someone left regular Freddy in a storage room for years and then tried to fix him with zero budget. The extra face holes are a choice. The general air of neglect is strong. He's not scary, he's just sad. C tier. Not it. Withered Bonnie has no face. He has the exposed wires and the dangling endoskeleton, and the dark empty space where his face used to be, and he looks like a construction site collapsed inside a rabbit costume. D tier, certified ugly. And it is not even close. He is the most unsettling thing in Five Nights at Freddy's. 2 and Five Nights at Freddy's, 2 has a lot of competition. D tier, final answer. Withered Chica has the extra hands coming out of her back, which is genuinely disturbing, and the open frozen mouth is a strong bad choice. She looks like someone tried to combine Chica with a grabber toy from a gumball machine. C tier. Points off for the hands. Points off for the screaming face. Points off just generally. Withered Foxy is Foxy, but more falling apart and significantly less fun. The eye patch is still there, but the rest of the design is just decay. He looks like Foxy tried to retire, and the retirement did not go well. C tier. The eye patch still carries, but it can only do so much. Now on Five Nights at Freddy's 3, we have Springtrap. Springtrap is genuinely disturbing to look at, which is interesting because he is also the most human-looking animatronic in the series. You can see William Afton in there. A rotting green rabbit suit with a corpse inside it should absolutely be D tier, and yet there is something about the design that works on a horror level. It is specific, it is earned, B tier, mid, but respectfully. And it is doing something deliberate. The Phantoms are just the regular animatronics, but burned, decayed, and green-tinted like a hallucination you get from eating bad pizza. Phantom Freddy looks like Freddy got left in a microwave. Phantom Chica is Chica but haunted and worse. Phantom Foxy is Foxy with the fun removed. Phantom Balloon Boy was already bad. Now he is also a phantom, somehow worse. Phantom Puppet is the puppet if you put it in a dryer too long. Phantom Mangle is controlled chaos, but also on fire and green. They all get D tier. I am explaining this once and applying it to all of them. We are not doing this 6 separate times. D tier. Collective. Final. Now getting to Five Nights at Freddy's 4. We have Nightmare Freddy. Nightmare Freddy is Freddy with extra teeth and the general energy of someone who has been waiting in your closet for 6 hours. The Fredlings, the tiny Freddy heads on his fingers and his chest, are a deeply unhinged design choice. He looks like Freddy after he became a Dungeons & Dragons villain. C tier. Not it, but committed to the bit. Nightmare Bonnie is Bonnie with everything turned up to nightmare volume. More teeth, more claws, more menace. Still fundamentally a purple rabbit with an unsettling face situation. The improvement over original Bonnie is real, but C tier is the ceiling. He looks like Bonnie got a horror game DLC. Nightmare Chica brought the Nightmare Cupcake, which is its own active threat, and that is insane. The design has the same everything got worse energy as the rest of the nightmares. Still a chicken, still not it. C tier. That cupcake gets its own separate evaluation that it did not ask for. Nightmare Foxy somehow still works. The hook is bigger, the teeth are everywhere, the whole design is more aggressive, and it actually fits Foxy's energy better than the original. He looks like Foxy went feral in the best possible way. B tier. The Nightmare upgrade helped him specifically. Nightmare Fredbear is the most intensely terrifying animatronic in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, and also one of the ugliest. He's got the hat, the tiny yellow eyes buried in a massive dark body, and the absolutely enormous jaw that looks like it could fit a bicycle. That hat is doing nothing. D tier certified ugly. He scares me, and I do not like the way he looks, and both of those things are true at the same time. Nightmare is literally just Nightmare Fredbear, but black with white glowing eyes. He looks like Nightmare Fredbear went through an edgy phase and nobody stopped him. D tier. He is not an upgrade. He is a color swap with delusions of grandeur. Plush Trap is a tiny nightmare. Spring Bonnie Plush, who has the audacity to have his own minigame. He looks like if Spring Bonnie had a child with a toy store. Reject. The little body. The proportions, the face. He should be D tier, but there is something about the fact that he is tiny and still a menace that earns him a C. Not it, but he is committed, and I respect commitment. And now getting to Sister Location, Circus Baby is the most polished, intentionally designed, genuinely striking character in the franchise, and she knows it. She's tall, she's red and white. She has the red hair, the green eyes, the circus aesthetic that somehow works as both horror and design. She was literally built to attract children, and she attracted the entire fandom instead. S tier undeniable baddie. She looks like she belongs on a poster, and she has used that to get away with everything. Ballora is the most elegant thing Scott Cawthon ever designed. She dances. Her eyes are always closed. She has actual graceful proportions in a franchise that typically makes its characters intentionally off. She is somehow both beautiful and deeply unsettling because of how refined she looks compared to everything around her. S tier. Undeniable. I will not be taking questions. Funtime Freddy is the Freddy design with actual personality injected into it. The white and purple color scheme is cleaner than original. Freddy's brown. Bonbon on his hand adds a layer of unhinged energy, and the whole Funtime aesthetic gives him more visual interest. He looks like Freddy went on a gap year and came back with opinions. A tier. Pretty clean actually. Funtime Foxy is Foxy cleaned up and given a stage show. The white and pink color scheme is a strong upgrade, the design has more intentionality than original Foxy, and the Funtime aesthetic makes the horror more elegant. A tier. Foxy finally got his moment. Inard is all of the Sister Location animatronics endoskeletons, fused together into one nightmare spaghetti pile with a clown mask on top. He looks like a plumbing accident tried to become a character. The mask is doing its best. It is not enough. D tier, certified ugly. He is what happens when there is no budget left for a new design and everything goes wrong simultaneously. Okay, now we are on the weird game PIZZERIA Simulator, with the first animatronic being Scrap Baby. Scrap Baby is what happens when Circus Baby gets dismantled and has to put herself back together with whatever parts she could find. The result is that one of her arms is a giant claw, and the rest of her design looks like a craft project made by someone who had a great concept and ran out of time. C tier, not it. She was S tier before the scooping, and the downgrade is genuinely tragic. Molten Freddy is Enard, but even more melted, with Fun Team. Freddy's head sitting on top of a pile of merged animatronic parts that are actively oozing. He looks like a plate of lasagna that became self-aware and is upset about it. D tier. There is nothing clean about this. He looks like what happens when you do not take out the trash for several years. Lefty is a black animatronic bear with a red hat and a single red eye visible through the darkness. He looks like if Freddy decided to go through an emo phase and actually committed to it. He is also a trap that Henry built to contain the puppet, which means underneath the cool dark design, there is a ton of lore weight. B tier, mid but respectfully. The dark aesthetic earns its keep. Scrap Trap is William Afton in an even more rotted version of the Spring Bonnie suit after surviving the 5 nights at Freddy's 3 Fire. He looks like Springtrap if Springtrap had even less going for him. The design is deliberately gross and it achieves that goal completely. C tier, not it. He looks like he smells terrible, and that is somehow the most accurate description I can give. Now we are on Help Wanted and we got Glitch Trap. Glitch Trap is William Afton as a digital virus wearing a clean Spring Bonnie costume inside a VR game. And somehow, that version of him is the most charming looking one. The purple and yellow color scheme is clean. The bunny suit actually looks good when it is not rotting, and the fact that he is smiling pleasantly while being a digital predator gives him a specific unsettling energy that works. B tier, mid but respectfully. And he knows it. Dreadbear is Freddy Fazbear if Freddy Fazbear was a Frankenstein monster. He has the bolts, the flat top head, the dead eyes glowing orange, and the general energy of something assembled from parts that did not necessarily belong together. The Halloween aesthetic is doing some work. The design is not doing enough. C tier. Not it, but seasonally appropriate. And now, Ultimate Custom Night. Mr. Hippo is a purple hippopotamus animatronic who will tell you an extremely long story about his friend Darling in the middle of your death screen. He looks like a children's birthday party character who has seen things. The design is simple, but it has the quiet dignity of someone who knows exactly who they are. B tier, mid but respectfully. He is at peace, and the design reflects that. Old Man Consequences is an old man who sits by a pond and tells you to go back to the living. He looks like a fishing-themed animatronic that a regional pizza chain bought at auction and never fully understood. The fishing rod is doing a lot of heavy lifting. C tier. Not it, but he has a philosophy, and most animatronics do not. Lolbit is a Funtime Foxy recolor with an orange and white color scheme and a glitchy error screen covering her face that says LOL bit with a high-pitched sound effect. She is a jump scare that sells things in the death screen, which is genuinely one of the most chaotic concepts in the franchise. The recolor actually works though. The orange pops. B tier. Mid but respectfully, and the business model is admirable. El Chip is a beaver animatronic with a sombrero who has his own commercial jingle that plays during your death screen. He is advertising a competing restaurant while you are dying. That is either the funniest or the most disrespectful thing in 5 Nights at Freddy's history, depending on your perspective. The design is fine. The mustache is doing its job. C tier. Not it, but the energy is immaculate. Now in Security Breach, we have Glamrock Freddy. Glamrock Freddy is the glow-up Freddy deserved. The blue and gold color scheme is genuinely clean. The rockstar aesthetic gives him personality he never had in the original games. And the fact that he is the only animatronic actively trying to protect Gregory gives him actual heart. A tier. He is the dad of the franchise, and he looks good doing it. Glamrock Chica is somehow the most visually interesting Chica in the entire series. The neon pink and white, the star-shaped guitar, the rockstar energy, the painted-on eye makeup. She looks like she belongs in a stadium and is just here at Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex for a Tuesday night. S tier. The fact that she eats garbage does not affect this ranking. We stan her anyway. Roxanne Wolf is genuinely the most striking design in the Security Breach cast. The green hair, the sports car energy, the legs, the absolute confidence of an animatronic who looks in the mirror constantly and has fully earned the right to do so. She literally has a mirror in her green room. She knows she is S tier. We know she is S tier. We are all in agreement here. Monty is a green gator with purple sunglasses and a rockstar chip on his shoulder. He looks like he should be in a band that peaked in 2003 and is still bitter about it. The sunglasses are doing a lot of work. B tier. Respectable energy. Slightly trying too hard. Sun and Moon are genuinely the most creative design in Security Breach. and possibly in the entire franchise. Sundrop is a yellow and red jester with a sun face that radiates chaotic daycare energy. Moondrop is the same body, but dark and creepy with a moon face and the energy of something that should not be left alone with children under any circumstances. Two completely different personalities. One body, both of them work. S tier. They are the most interesting thing in the game visually, and they work in a daycare. That is impressive. Vanny is a white bunny in a horror movie costume, and it works. She has the clean white suit, the creepy blank face with the red eyes, the whole, what if a friendly mascot was hunting you energy. She looks like a nightmare Easter bunny, and I mean that as a compliment. A tier. Pretty clean actually. And deeply unsettling, which is the exact combination that earns an A in this franchise. Burntrap is William Afton in a third rotted rabbit suit, and at this point, the design has nowhere left to go. He looks like Scraptrap forgot sunscreen for a decade. The wire situation is a disaster. The entire design screams, we needed a final boss and we ran out of time. D tier. Even William deserves better than this, and William is a serial killer. And now, Secret of the Mimic. The Mimic is a terrifying endoskeleton creature that can imitate any animatronic it has ever seen, and has been doing so for decades undetected. Lore-wise, it is one of the most threatening entities in the entire franchise. Design-wise, it looks like someone took an endoskeleton and asked it to be scary without giving it a costume budget. All exposed wires and metal with glowing eyes. D tier. Terrifying in concept, unfortunate in appearance. The scariest thing in the game looks the least scary on paper, and that is a genuine design tragedy. Jackie is one of the new Secret of the Mimic animatronics, and she has the general energy of a character who was designed to be threatening, but landed somewhere between unsettling and just kind of odd-looking. C tier. Not it, but she is new, so she gets a slight benefit of the doubt that she has not fully earned yet. Party Chica is the original Chica, the oldest one ever made, and her design is intentionally more cartoonish and mascot-like than all the later versions. She has the roller skates, the party apron, the general energy of someone who was doing this before any of the other animatronics existed. She looks like she is from a different era, because she literally is from a different era. B tier, respectable for her age. The roller skates are doing their job. Big Top is the large circus-themed animatronic from Secret of the Mimic, and he has the size and the big clown energy going for him without quite nailing the overall design. C tier, not it, but he tried, and the effort is noted. Helpy is a friendly AI assistant character that appears as a helpful guide and looks like a screen with a face on it wearing a little suit. He has the energy of someone who was designed to be reassuring and is doing his best in a situation that is not reassuring at all. C tier. Not it as a design, but he gets points for trying to help, when everything else in this franchise is actively trying to kill you. Nurse Dolly is a new Secret of the Mimic character with a doll-like design, a nurse aesthetic, and the general vibe of something you would find in a hospital that you would immediately leave. The design has the right idea, creepy doll meets medical setting, but does not quite commit hard enough in either direction to be interesting. C tier. Not it, but there is potential in the concept that the execution did not fully reach. Okay? I know exactly which placements have you typing right now. Springtrap in B because you think the corpse situation should disqualify him. Mangle in B because you think the chaos deserves better. Glitch Trap in B because putting William Afton anywhere above D feels morally complicated. And either Roxanne or Toy Chica in S because somebody always has strong feelings about those two, and I respect that. Drop your most controversial disagreement in the comments. The 3 placements that get the most replies get a recount video. I am not joking. If Balloon Boy gets enough defense, I will reconsider him, and I will hate every second of it. If you somehow agreed with this entire list, first of all, you have excellent taste. Second of all, you are lying. And third of all, the like button is right there, and it would mean a lot to a mid-tier channel trying to make it to S tier. Well, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and watch one of the videos on the screen.